So, ladies and gentlemen, I actually responded to this goofy comment in a video earlier today when I was on my lunch break. I got on my lunch break and I seen this comment and I made a video to it, but then I deleted the video because I realized that I came off a little bit emotional, and I don't want to come off emotional because this comment really kind of like pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? But I deleted it because I don't want to have that type of energy on this channel. I want to keep this channel as professional as I possibly can. I don't want to be cussing. I don't want to be raising my tone of voice or getting emotional because people want to make goofy comments. If people want to make goofy comments, I'm going to keep my composure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to still screenshot you and I'm still going to react to you. So here we go again. I'm going to react to it, and this time I'm going to do it in a calm, professional manner. Excuse me. So if you guys watched my last previous video, I was breaking down a little bit, and I was reacting to somebody else's comment that they had made, and I was talking about the topic that I was talking about in particular was I was basically breaking down the difference between race, ethnic groups, and I was explaining that mulatto people in America, mulatto people in the United States, that is your race. Your race is mulatto, but that is not your ethnic group. There's no such thing as a mulatto ethnic group. There's no such thing as an ethnic group called mulatto. So your ethnic group, the culture that you belong to, is African American. That is a fact. That is an historical fact. It's always been like that, and it's still like that to this very day. That is the whole entire purpose of these spaces that we're in. I'm no longer in those spaces, but these little mulatto spaces on the internet, that's the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose of it is because you guys are trying to form a separate ethnic group for yourself. That's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to break yourself away from the African, but it's going to be hard. And one of the reasons why it's going to be very, very hard, most African Americans are technically, especially in this era, a lot of these people have mulatto grandparents. Some of these people have mulatto parents. Some of these people have mulatto grandfathers, mulatto grandmothers, mulatto mothers, mulatto fathers, mulatto brothers and sisters. The average African American, young African American in the new generation, a lot of these people are griff. A lot of these people are multi-generationally mixed because of slavery and because of mixing. And we should understand by now how the African American ethnic group was created. Okay, now let me read this comment that this person made on that video. So stupid. And we're going to break it down. And I'm going to tag this individual. He says lies. I'm not exactly sure what it is that I was lying about, but okay. He says mulattoes don't identify as black. Here it is, Goofy. Here it is. If mulattoes don't identify as black, then why was Obama referred to as the first black president of the United States? First of all, they called him the first African American president of the United States, which is bogus. Now that's bogus because Obama is half Kenyan and his father was not African American. His father was Kenyan from Africa. So Obama, if I'm not mistaken, he only comes from one African tribe. African Americans come from a multitude of African tribes, not in Kenya, but in Ghana, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal. So Obama was not an African American, even though they try to call him that. He's not. But he is a mulatto. He is a mulatto, and he is technically American. But if I was to say which ethnic group he belongs to, is like Obama doesn't really have an official ethnic group. The only thing he could really claim is whatever tribe he comes from in Kenya and whatever type of European his mother was. That's really the only thing he could really claim. You know what I'm saying? That's the closest he could get to claiming an ethnic group. But he can't really call himself African American because he's not. He's not an American descendant of slavery. So that doesn't belong to him. That identity does not belong to him, okay? Let me break down how the African American ethnic group was created. It's sad that I even have to explain that in 2025 because everybody should know that by now. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to even be smart. Like some of the stupidest people, most uneducated people even know this already. Some people that I wouldn't say are stupid, but they're not really they're not really book smart like that either. Like I got family members that I wouldn't say are necessarily stupid or dumb, but they're not really like super book smart or anything like that. Like they don't study history and social studies, but even they know this. Even they understand this shit. Excuse my French. Okay, the African American ethnic group was created through mixing. It was created through the mixing of not only different races, but also different tribes and ethnic groups. Okay? When the Europeans brought the Africans to America, when they first started to set up, plantations and slave plantations and so on and so forth, one of the things that they implemented on the slave plantation was breeding farms, because African slaves were basically treated as chattel. They were basically treated as chattel slaves. That's basically what they were. They were treated as animals. They were treated as chattel. No different than, chattel. They were treated the same way cows and chickens and animals on a farm. They were breeded. Same way animals on a farm, they get breeded and they get killed and tortured, right? Our ancestors were treated as chattel slaves. No different than these cows and chickens you see on the meat markets, right? They're breeded, they're selectively breeded, right? They kind of do, a lot of people do that with dogs, right? They pick and choose how they want to breed their dogs. Dog breeders, right? They pick and choose how they want to breed their dogs. It's selective breeding. Or I don't want to breed my dog with this. I want to breed my dog with that because I want my puppies to come out a certain type of way, right? So the slave masters, the white men, they created breeding farms for their slaves. On the breeding farms, they had a multitude of different types of Africans put into slavery, all mixed together. Different tribes, different ethnic groups, and all of them just got lumped up together into one big, collab. And this is why when the average black American takes a DNA test, even when I take a DNA test, being a Louisiana Creole, a mulatto Louisiana Creole, when we take our DNA test, you'll come to find out and see that we don't just come from one African tribe or one African ethnic group. We come from a multitude. We come from a multitude of different African tribes and different African ethnic groups. We don't just come from one. When I look at my DNA, I come from Senegal, I come from the Mali Empire, I come from Ghana, I come from Nigeria, I come from some other little places, I think the Congo, I think different types of Bantu, and I got a multitude of different types of African ethnic groups and tribes in my blood. And that goes for all of us. If you are of African descent living in America, South America, or North America, right? But then you'll also come to find out that most African Americans also have a good portion of white in them. They got a good chunk of white in them because of not only because of those breeding farms, but even after slavery, after the breeding farms, right? Even after that, you still had a lot of mixing going on over the years, over the decades. Even after slavery, it still went on. Whole bunch of mixing went on, right? That's literally how the African American ethnic group was created, right? Frederick Douglass is African American. That's African American history for you. That's African American history. That's how African Americans were created. They were created on breeding farms. I don't know how people don't know this in 2025. Everybody should know that by now. Everybody should have known that by now, man. Like, where have you been? Have you been stuck under a rock? Like, literally, though. I'm not even trying to make a joke or anything. Like, have you been stuck under a rock, man? Where have you been for the past... Come on, man. Like, how old are you? Were you born last night? Like, how old are you, man? Are you 15 years old? Are you 11 years old? Am I missing something here? Are you a child? Like, how do you not know this, man? So everybody's supposed to know that, man. Mixed people were always a part of the African American ethnic group because that's how African Americans were created. On breeding farms. Come on, man. Y'all are so ignorant. Now let me continue reading this person's silly, ignorant, uneducated comment. He says they don't identify with black people. Now, let me go back to that first statement again. There's a lot of mulatto people that don't identify with black people. You're absolutely correct, but there's a lot of them that do. Because every time I look into the pro-black community, you know who the biggest pro-black people are? It's always some light-skinned, mixed-race type of person, I swear to God. But then when I look at a lot of the dark-skinned pro-black people, a lot of them are scammers. Like Dr. Umar, for example. He's a scam artist. We just saw what happened to him. Everybody with common sense knew that school was not gonna open, and now look at him. And we're gonna do a video on that dude soon. We're gonna do that soon. We're gonna get on that soon. Wait for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm still continuing to see so many mulatto people identifying with only being black. It's outrageous. When I go on social media, some of these mulatto women, they have said some of the most nastiest stuff to me. They come on my page, they talk all type of shit. Because I don't identify as being a fully black person. I'm not denying my blackness. I'm just saying that I'm not exclusively black. I'm black and white. I'm not just black. But I'm not denying the black part of myself. I'm not denying that. Of course I'm still black because I'm mulatto. That's a part of being mulatto. Being black is a part of the mulatto identity. Duh. So, but you know, some of these mixed women, because let's be real, mixed women don't really like mixed men. They prefer dark-skinned black men, and we're going to get into that because this person, we're going to continue reading this person's comment. He says, GTFO, I live in the Midwest. I don't care where you live, playboy. I live in the South. What is your point about you live in the Midwest? Exactly. Have you lived anywhere else? Where else have you lived at? I'm saying, come on, man. What was the purpose of you telling me that you live in the Midwest? What's the purpose of you telling me that, homie? What's the purpose of you telling me that you live in the Midwest? I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of you telling me that is, but cool for you, good for you. I live in South Louisiana. What's happening? Come on, man. Like, I don't care where you live at. But he says he lives in the Midwest. Most of the mulattoes that I see want to be white. And distance themselves from black people. Why do you think that is, homie? You don't think black people play a role in that? You don't think black people play a huge role in why a lot of mulatto people in this day and age, especially in this era? You don't understand why a lot of us are starting to distance ourselves away from y'all? You don't understand that? So y'all don't play no role in that? When y'all constantly make stupid jokes, y'all constantly try to bully people, y'all are super duper toxic, y'all always got something negative to say about mixed people and light-skinned people, even people that are predominantly black but light-skinned, y'all always got something to say about them, but then y'all act surprised when we just like, yo, what's up with these people, man? And then we start backing away from y'all and getting away from y'all. Then y'all want to act shocked and surprised. It don't make no sense to me, man. It really don't, man. Because I'll be honest with you. I've started to distance myself from black people. I don't even like being around y'all. I really don't. Like, a lot of times I really don't like being around y'all. I really don't. I keep it real with you. Because y'all always got something to say. Y'all always got some slick ass remark or some type of joke y'all want to make. And I don't got time for it, man. Y'all always got something to say about my looks and my skin color. I know what I look like, man. I'm about to be 30 years old, man. I wasn't born last night, man. I was born in the 90s. I was born in the mid 90s. I grew up in the early 2000s, man, before social media came out, before smartphones and all that. So I'm not, this ain't my first rodeo, man. I know what I look like. I know what I am. You ain't got to remind me. Every chance you get, you got something to say about me and what I look like. But imagine if I was to come up to people and be like, yo, look at this black ass dude. This dude black as midnight. Look at this dude. What if I started making jokes? What if I started telling people like, yo, man, this dude look like he fresh off the boat from Ghana, man. Fresh off the slave ship. Now, if I said some shit like that, somebody would want to fight me. Somebody would want to fight me. I'd be getting it. Matter of fact, they might want to do more than fight me. They might just want to jump my ass. They might want to jump me. Somebody's going to want to put their hands on me if I say something like that. Let's be real. If I start making jokes, if I start calling people burnt and crispy, it's going to be a problem. But y'all can call me white boys, and y'all can call me soft and feminine and weak and all other types of crazy stuff. All types of stuff. I done been called all types of shit on the online, offline, on the internet, off the internet. Y'all always got something to say. So don't act shocked and surprised that mulatto people, a lot of them, they don't want to deal with y'all no more. They don't want to deal with y'all no more. And a big role in that, maybe not 100%, but a lot of it has to do with you guys. Maybe you need to look in the mirror, hold yourselves accountable, because that's as a collective, that's black people, one of their biggest downfalls. Y'all always got a victim mentality, excuse me. Everybody else is doing something but y'all. Everybody else is in the wrong but y'all. Everybody else did it but you. Now let me finish reading this comment. He says, I see they want to be white and distance themselves from black people, especially those mulattoes raised by racist white women. Okay, first of all, I wasn't raised by white women. I was raised by black women. I don't have a white mother. Now, let me say this. Your observation and your comment is not totally wrong. I'm not saying that it's totally wrong. It's just a little bit flawed. You're giving the explanation of one type of mulatto. But there's a lot of mulatto people out here that are absolutely not like this at all. A lot of them. And then there's a lot of them that kind of fit the description that you're describing. I'm not disagreeing with you. Some of these types of mulattoes that you're talking about, I'd be calling some of these people out. As a matter of fact, in the video that you commented on, I wasn't sneak dissing the person or the people, but there was two individuals that I talked about. I wasn't sneak dissing them, but those two people kind of fit the description that you're describing right here. And I'm not gonna name who they are or anything like that, because they know who they are already. It's a girl and a dude. Two content creators. I'm not gonna name them. They know who they are, and more than likely, they're still watching my content. Most likely. Okay? And then his last statement. He says, we are encouraged to date white people and degrade black folks. We are encouraged to date white people. Let me get this straight. So 75% of the time when I walk out the door and I see a mulatto woman or a light-skinned woman that looks like a mulatto, whenever I see these women, guess what type of men I see them with? Whether it be in the media, and that plays a role in why I see it in real life. Because people, especially women, they follow trends. They follow the media. Most mixed race women date dark-skinned black men. So I don't know what you're talking about, player. Because, and here's another thing, right? The mixed women get put on a pedestal in the black community. They love black men. But it's the complete opposite with the mixed man. What do these black people do? Every time I get on the internet, nigga, and this ain't just a social media thing. This is a real life thing. This stereotype. Because black men have put so many negative stereotypes out about men with my phenotype. It's hard. It's hard now for men with my phenotype to get with the average black woman. Because they automatically got it in their heads that I'm some type of soft, feminine, homosexual. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got some jealous ass, cock-blocking, dark-skinned black dudes that want to put these negative stereotypes out into the media. Make it make sense, dog. It's like I don't understand what black people want from the mixed race and light-skinned man in America. I really don't understand what y'all want from us. At one point, you got all these black women and mixed women talking about they don't like light-skinned niggas and we don't want y'all. We don't want y'all. We don't like y'all. We don't want no light-skinned niggas. Y'all are soft. Y'all are feminine. Y'all are weak. So then you know what we did? All the light-skinned niggas, you know what we did? Well, most of us, not all of us. Some of them, they still continue to try to get with black women and they still stick around in the black community. But most of us, I would say, we left. We ventured on out. We listened to what the people had to say. Y'all made it very clear that y'all don't want us around. Most of y'all let it be known y'all don't want us around. So we got up and we packed our things and we got the hell up out of Dodge. We left. So now you see us with white women. You see us with Latina women, mostly white women. And on an occasion, I'll see us with a dark-skinned black woman on occasions. But I almost never see a man that looks like me with a woman that looks like me, with another mixed race woman. I never see that. And I hardly ever see us with dark-skinned black women, but on occasion I still see it. I see that dynamic much more often. Some dark-skinned black women are actually smart. They can see the dating dynamics within the black American community and they can see how things are going. Some of them are smart and they use light-skinned men as a way to get back at their own men. Because, you know, a lot of their men, like, they choose to be with mulatto women and light-skinned women, and they choose to degrade dark-skinned black women. So some of these dark-skinned black women are smart, and they choose to date men with my phenotype. Because a lot of us, let's be real, a lot of us treat black women way better than fully black men. And they know that. So they get with us to try to, like, get back at y'all. Some of them, but a lot of them don't do that because a lot of them are just dumb and they're bird brains. So what they continue to do is they continue to kiss dark-skinned black men's ass, even though those same men are not doing the same for you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, some black women are catching on to it. A lot of them ain't catching on to it, and they continue to do what it is that they do. And, you know, let them do what they do, because in the end, there's a good possibility they're going to end up looking stupid. So, you know, just don't come crying back to me. That's all I got to say. Don't come crying back to the light-skinned men. Stay where your ass was at. You know what I'm saying? But some of them, and I kind of get the feeling that they try to use light-skinned men as like a crutch. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't know what really be going on through people's minds and people's heads when they do the things that they do. I can only make basic observations and come up with an hypothesis of what might be the case. But I'm not a psychologist and I can't read minds. So, but with those dynamics that I just spoke about, why would you be surprised that a man that looks like me, why would you be surprised that I'm not out here trying to date black women? When we already know I'm at a disadvantage already anyways. We already understand that mixed race women have an advantage in the black American community. The men put them on a pedestal. When it comes to men, the mixed race and light-skinned men, we're not put on a pedestal. In certain cases, we kind of are a little bit. We kind of are a little bit in certain cases, but black women get shamed for those types of things. They get shamed for that. And when they get shamed for it, it kind of discourages them from doing it any further anymore. So sometimes we do a little bit, but most of the time we don't. Most of the time we get called soft. We get called pretty boys and feminine. Most of the time that's what we're referred to as in the black American community. So what do you want me to do? If the black man has already cock-blocked the hell out of me, he has officially cock-blocked me from dating black women and mixed women. And at the end of the day, I'm not willing to convince a group of women to date me. If they're willing to listen to the things that dark-skinned black men have said, then go ahead and just let them rock out. Like if you're that easily persuaded by this man's words and thoughts, then he can have you. As far as I'm concerned, they can have you. And y'all can rock out and have a hell of a lot of fun. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Deuces. Adios. Bye-bye. Simple as that. I'm not going to sit here and fight with y'all, argue with y'all, or try to convince you to choose otherwise. I'm just going to get up and leave and remove myself from the premises. Problem solved. Less of a headache, less drama, and less bullshit all around. So make it make sense. I'm confused. You don't make sense. And I know for a fact that everything I said makes sense. But what you said, it really don't even add up. Like a lot of this shit don't really add up. I understand where you're coming from, because I've seen some of these things myself. But this is not, come on, man. Tell the whole story and don't just tell part of the story. Tell the whole thing, okay? Because you're leaving out a whole lot of information, buddy.